Hello, and welcome to Round Glass. I'm Lisa Kring, and this session really dedicated to befriending the mind. I'm so glad to be a part of this with you right now. So what I'd love to do is just say a few words before we begin the meditation, because this is truly a deep practice, how we can be with our own mind. And the truth is, this question for all of us is kind of the same. Do we all wish that our mind would just stop thinking? Don't we all feel that way? Well, good luck with that, right? We almost have to laugh at the question, because the truth is the mind is almost always in the process of thinking, whether it's planning or judging or ruminating or anticipating, obsessing, worrying, or even fantasizing. And the more we try to stop it, control it, the more upset we become with the mind. Whatever it's doing, the louder it seems to get, the more trapped we become in the experience, right? But there's some really beautiful news from a mindfulness perspective. Mindfulness allows us to find some peace in our own mind, in our own head, just as it is. There is absolutely no goal to stop or quiet the mind from a mindfulness perspective. The truth is that we can't. The mind, the brain, it has a life of its own. It's very humbling. And it's almost as if you can think about that the brain is secreting thoughts, much like in a very natural way, much like the mouth secretes saliva. It's just an organ in the body doing its thing. But the beautiful thing from a Buddhist perspective is that it's simply another sense door in the body, not the control tower of truth and reality that we're often so conditioned to believe in Western culture. But through mindfulness, we can actually learn to relate to the mind, to be with the mind, to befriend the mind, just as it is, in a radically different way, a healthier way. Really befriending, accepting, being with the mind as it is. It's quite a paradoxical process. Letting and allowing thoughts simply to come and go just as they are, just as they do, holding it with a kind, non-judgmental awareness. And as a natural byproduct, this is the good news, we realize that our thoughts are not who we are, so that we become free and liberated, even within our own minds. So it's really about a radical shift in how we relate to our thoughts that allows for this incredible experience of liberation in our own minds, in our own brains. So it's so exciting to me always in this live stream format to know that you're right here, right now. And I just want to thank you all so much for sharing in the chat. And I just want to bring them in. I want to bring your words in. Yeah, and I just see in the chat that many of you say that your mind doesn't stop, and that's true. It doesn't. Isn't it great to know that you're not alone with that? And many say that they want to break the cycle of overthinking, especially about hurtful or emotional things. We can really get caught in the story of the mind. So we'll practice, and then you can see for yourself how to allow that to be as it is, but to relate to it in a very different way. And in doing so, perhaps the mind, we become less entangled in the thought, in the story of the mind. We become free as it is unfolding. Somebody else says it'd be lovely and nice to just sit and not think about anything at all. Absolutely. I remember when I first started meditating and I went on my first meditation retreat. This is all in silence. And my mind was so loud. I really had the thought, oh my God, I wish I could just take my head off and put it down, right? But it's not an option. It's really not. And what's beautiful though in practice, and perhaps you'll see in the experience of meditation right now, that there's no goal to stop or to empty the mind. that becomes a downward spiral. We become trapped in thoughts when we try to control or judge them or make them stop. But when we can allow our thoughts to be as they are, when we can really just allow the thoughts to come and go as natural phenomena, and we rest in more embodied mindful awareness, it's such a beautiful process as a natural byproduct of simply being with things as they are, without judgment, with a quality of befriending. Suddenly, magically almost, the mind becomes more calm, more free, and more empty, more luminous, more peaceful. But you can't make that the goal. It's more that we have to be with things as they actually are, in a kind and loving awareness, and suddenly there's a transformation that's natural. So let's try this now. I'm very excited to practice with you. And let's just take the first minute now to just settle into a posture that feels connected, supported. You want to just find, it's going to be different for everybody depending on their bodies and where they are and how they're feeling right now. So this is just all for you to tune into your body right now. Just take a moment to do that, to stop, to just feel this body right now in this moment of life. And to see if you can discover a posture that is relaxed yet awake. And this is a beautiful balance to find in the body. There's no right way to sit. I'm sitting with my legs crossed on a pillow on the floor, but that is not at all what you need to be doing if that's not right for you. This is very comfortable for me. But if you'd like to lay down or just sit in a comfortable chair, that's perfectly fine. And go ahead and just bring a little bit of energy into the spine, just to enliven the body, that wakeful quality, a relaxed openness, a relaxed, open receptivity in the body. You might want to roll your shoulders back, and if you've had a stressful day, you might even want to do a little bit of gentle stretching, just to kind of unwind and let go in the body. So, giving you a minute to make those adjustments and settle in. When you feel ready, go ahead and close your eyes if that feels welcome. And just notice for yourself how it feels to just stop and connect and feel what's real right now in this body, in this heart, and yes, also in this mind right now. And from a mindfulness perspective, we're adopting an attitude, a quality and awareness that is radically inclusive and non-judgmental. There's no problem with anything unless it becomes a problem in the mind. So see if you can just gently bring a smile to the lips, very soft, just to incline the mind-heart right now into an attitude of kindness and gentleness. You often see the Buddha smiling, this gentle smile, different statues and images of the Buddha. And this, it does embody this quality, this attitude of mindfulness that is incredibly kind and non-judgmental. And just see what it feels to just bring a soft, gentle smile to the lips. Just to incline the whole system into an attitude of friendliness and to one of welcome. Just notice how that feels to open the heart, the body, to what's here just as it is. We're letting go of preference, of wanting to make anything different than what it actually is in this moment right now. It's really a radical attitude. But just try it on and see how it feels. And if you like, you can keep that very gentle smile alive on the lips, just as a way to stay in touch with this quality. And as we begin, let's just set an attitude of kindness to yourself and give yourself a lot of credit for taking this time to befriend the mind, to befriend yourself just as you are, just as you really are, as an act and an experience of liberation. Now we'll take just the first few minutes just to settle into the body. And we'll do this by gently allowing the felt sense of the body, allowing that to move into the foreground of awareness. In this practice, we're learning to place our awareness mindfully as a way to find balance and peace and calm and wisdom. So see if you can very gently just allow the felt sense right now of the full weight of the body, just feeling into the truth of the body and the reality of it simply resting on the earth that is cradling the body, quite literally in this moment. And just for these first few minutes, see what it's like to just allow everything else, thoughts and sounds and maybe even emotions, no problem with any of that. Just see if for now, in a very kind and friendly way, you can allow all of that to just move into the background of awareness, not the main focus. Just for now. And gently invite the felt sense of the body, the weight of the body, the warmth of the body. See if you can feel into an aspect of your physical experience right now, naturally, without you having to do a thing, where it feels relatively stable and calm to land, just for now. And you can discover this for yourself. Perhaps it's just that feeling of the weight of the body resting on the earth, connected and present, grounded and supported. Or perhaps the gentle, natural flow of the breath, already flowing. Nothing at all that you need to work at or make happen. Perhaps it's easiest just to feel and rest in the gentle waves of breath, flowing through the body just as it does, becoming a bit curious, welcoming the breath, each breath, just as it is, feeling it as it flows into the body, breathing in, nourishing, and as you breathe out, feeling the whole body release and let go as you breathe out. So rest in any aspect of your physical experience right now that feels supportive and calming and relatively peaceful. And just let everything else, it's a wonderful experience to just let everything else, no problem, no judgment. Just allow everything else to move into the background, not the main focus right now. And see what it's like just to rest and become a bit mindfully embodied, allowing the body to lead. And when you feel settled enough, you can very gently, but once again with that quality of gentle, humble friendliness and curiosity, you can gently begin to turn towards the mind. And just notice the chatter, the stories of the mind, the qualities of the mind in this moment, and see if you can accept it just as it is without wanting it to be different in any way. And as a way to support this process, with being with the mind as it actually is, in a mindful way, as you move into the mind stream, see if it's helpful to allow the mind to be like a wide open sky. Perhaps an image unfolds naturally. Let this image be the biggest sky as far as the inner eye can see. And allow the mind right now to be like a wide, open, spacious sky. And see what it's like just to sit back and rest in the grounded, anchoring awareness, in the meadow of awareness, as you rest looking up into this sky of the mind. And allow any thoughts to just be like clouds, just natural phenomena, part of nature, coming and going as they do. And see what it's like just to rest in awareness, simply hanging out in the sky of the mind as it is. If that image allows you to hold the spacious reality of the mind, often cloudy or stormy with thoughts or thinking, but also quite spacious and empty and luminous as well. And see if you can, in this very, very friendly way, begin to feel into the natural, the true nature of the mind, without becoming entangled or caught up in any cloud of thought. Just simply allowing it all to come and go. Ephemeral, not substantial. Thoughts as natural phenomena, like clouds, drifting through the open, spacious sky of the mind. And see what it's like to give the thoughts and any mental activity all the space it needs. And as you rest to any degree, to some degree, in the spacious sky of the mind, resting in friendly and curious awareness, perhaps acknowledging that the sky of the mind is not altered or changed in any way by any cloud of thought. The mind can hold it all. And if it's helpful, as you remain simply observing and noticing the different clouds of thought. Perhaps in one moment, the sky of the mind is very cloudy with thoughts. That there's no blue sky that you can see. And just letting it be as it is, trusting that the blue is there. Being with that, like you would with any cloudy day, without judgment and without taking it personally at all. And then perhaps noticing in the next moment the sky of the mind very empty and luminous. So much blue. And resting in the spaciousness of the mind as it is. Of course, throughout this meditation, you may notice that you become a bit caught up and entangled, from a Buddhist perspective, a bit identified with any cloud of thought. You get pulled in. And this is a wonderful opportunity. See if you can notice when this occurs. Take a moment to give yourself some credit for waking up and noticing this tendency to get caught up into our thinking for any reason. And then with that quality of friendliness and kindness, letting go of all judgment. See what it's like to very gently untangle from that cloud of thought. Perhaps noting its nature. Perhaps it's caught up in planning or worrying. Without judgment, just identifying the particular quality of thought. not making it right or wrong, good or bad in any way. And then see what it's like to gently untangle and return to the meadow of mindful awareness. Coming back into the field of the mind like a wide open sky. What's it like to let go and allow the thoughts to just be like clouds, drifting as they do, natural phenomena. Trying to control the thoughts in your mind are almost as crazy as trying to control the clouds in the sky. Let go. And perhaps gain some insight that it is when there is judgment or resistance that really allows us to get entangled again and caught in the mind again. And when we can break that spell with a quality of welcoming, of acceptance, of kindness, of unconditional curiosity, and return into mindful awareness with the mind as it is. Simply letting the thoughts come and go as they do naturally. And before we come to the end of this practice, you can reflect to yourself, just right as you feel into your own mind. Where do the thoughts go? Where do they go? What is real? And for the last minute, you can return to any anchor in the body, letting go of the image of the mind like an open sky, and returning and grounding back into the more stable anchor of perhaps the breath, allowing the breath to move again into the foreground. The breath like a devoted friend, always there to return to. And as well, feel into the comfort and support of the earth holding the body right now. And in this last minute, just this last minute before we end the meditation, you can reflect to yourself. What was it like to simply allow thoughts to be as they are, to radically let go of judgment or wanting it to be different? Was there some freedom there? Was there space to be with it as it is? And in doing so, was it liberating? Was there any shift in your relationship to your own thoughts by really adopting this attitude of friendliness, of radical acceptance? I'll ring the bowl just to end this practice. So please feel free to open your eyes, and I love the chat and want to invite you, if you feel comfortable, to share any questions that you may have. And as I reflect and sit, I'm just wondering how it felt for you in any way to really, really just rest in your own mind in a radically different way in which we are not identified with our thoughts as reality, that perhaps they're just random natural phenomena. And in doing so, we become more free. I see a comment from Anyelo. I hope I have your name correctly. Amazing session. It's 5 a.m. in the Arab Emirates, and it's the best possible way to start the day. Oh, I agree. How beautiful. I do think this is a beautiful way to start your day. Just practicing where you begin with the body, feeling connected and anchored to the earth. It's so beautiful to know that in this moment, we are all in this earth, held by this earth together. Here I am in Los Angeles or in the United Emirates. It's amazing right now to feel the truth of that, to feel into the heart, really to allow that quality of befriending, of welcoming, of radical acceptance. And then to tune into the mind and get to know it, its true nature, without becoming entangled, allowing thoughts to come and go as they are, and to be free in the mind, no matter what its state. I want to thank you all for joining me. And please follow me on my Round Glass profile to practice this session again if you'd like to, and see when I'm going live next. So I look forward to being with you in any moment so that you too can mindfully say, welcome home.